La la la. Hey, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Back to talk about living aligned. And of course, that can be something different for different people, depending on the different challenges that are happening in your life. Our next guest can help you in many, many ways. We're joined by Linda Vanderlee. She is at Living Aligned Coaching and a coach, facilitator, and consultant. Linda, welcome to the show. Great to have you. Thank you very much. So what does it mean? How do you describe to people what it means to be living aligned?
To me, that's a question of being really aware of yourself and your circumstances and just getting in touch with what values are you living, actually, what actions are happening that tell you that you are living the life you want to live.
Right.
I think it seems to me that it would be so easy to be misaligned because we subscribe to what society thinks that we should be doing.
You got it.
You know, the car, the 2.5 kids, the house, this, that, and the other thing. So, what do you advise people?
Well, a lot of it is about asking the questions that we don't tend to ask ourselves very often, and it sort of helps to have a guide on that process. For some people, that guide is a book with the right question, and for other people, just having someone else there to sort of notice what's going on and maybe get you to think about the parts that you're not thinking of. I would say, whether I'm working with a team or whether I'm working with an individual, many times they're very smart, creative people, but most of them will say, I live from here up.
Right.
Right.
And the idea is that there's many ways for us to know about what's going on, to bring awareness, and whether that's around the environment we're in, but also our own bodies. And what is our heart saying? Do we ever stop and listen to what really, like you're going to this work and there's a lot about work you love, but something's a little off. And what might that be?
Yeah, we live inside our heads, right?
Yes.
We're
A
constantly
lot.
thinking, and I guess it's that, saying of, make time to stop and smell the roses. We don't, right?
Some people don't.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how you help. So what are different reasons people might come to see somebody like yourself?
Well, I would say for many, there's a lot of women that come that have been taking care of their children, doing a lot for others, and they're learning how to also put themselves in the equation. To say, yes, I'm not going to ignore everybody else, but how do I also count? How do I figure out what I need and want and take some time for that? That would be one. I have people who are in a career change or about to go into retirement. Basically, the nutshell is it's change.
Right.
And how am I going to navigate that change? And for some, the change is very positive. I'm about to start a new job I'm excited about, but I just want someone to talk to that isn't a part of that job, that I can sort of figure out, am I bringing my full self to this job, and is there a part that I might be missing?
Well, and what's unique in your approach, you take an expressive arts approach, and that's many different, music, visual, drama. So tell us a little bit about that approach and how it works.
I'm really excited about this. I would say that I used to do Outward Bound with corporate programs, so that was experiential. And I used to do a lot of social justice work that talked a lot about making use of what's around you. And just the last few years, I've been exploring the expressive arts, which is not necessarily art therapy, but it's another way into knowing, and it can kind of surprise you. Can I show you for an example?
Sure.
Absolutely.
So I was actually in a place where I was feeling very pulled in a lot of different directions, and I ended up finding these little pieces, and I use it ever since. It's just I tied all these things. Sometimes I felt really heavy, and I wanted to be more like a feather and light on the earth kind of thing. And other times I sort of felt like I felt stick in the mud or stick in the ground, and I wanted to be a sponge for learning.
Right.
And since then I've looked at these, and sometimes I'll go, but there's a balance. All of this is necessary in our life. So I might say, so this, now I could rearrange it or reframe it to say, this grounds me to the earth. It holds me down. I want to be thinking about what else is going on. I want to be a sponge for learning. So where do I place all this? And given what else, I think the big thing that I'm thinking about is circumstances. You may have everything in line, but suddenly the economy changes and work is not coming like it used to.
Right.
How do I still live aligned, true to myself and my values? And you mentioned culture. How much are my values mine, and how much is it what my parents or my schooling or whatever taught me? So can I bring in the more creative aspect of looking at that?
I can see that as being sort of a warm approach to dealing with change, because change terrifies people. Whether it is positive or, even when you get that fabulous new job, you're like, right?
Going on TV.
Right. Or exactly. And it's terrifying for the people around you when you say, I need to change my life. your husband's like, well, what do you mean? And
Yeah.
your kids are like,
And
what?
then they're fearful.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can see this artistic approach being very inclusive.
Yes, yes. And I would say the big thing about it is it's not judgmental. So if I go into a team and I get at them all to say, what's a metaphor that you would describe this team? You can't say that's wrong or right. It starts the conversation, which is mostly what I'm trying to do, is get the conversation for you to express it and then have others give their point of view. So I had one person say, we're like a bunch of bees. And as they talked what she meant by that and what the others in her team meant by that and what it took them as they had the conversation, it just expanded. Like, what kind of honey are they making? Is it, are we sticking in it? Or, and they just explored. Somebody else used the metaphor, we're an accident waiting for happen. This is the same team. And so
and it's amazing, right? You all think you're going in the same direction because you
Right.
have the same goal, but you're taking completely different paths.
or the
right?
opposite.
Yeah.
We all think we're not. And then
Right.
as they have the
Yeah.
conversation, they realize, wait a minute, no, you just look at it differently, but that's great because I look at it this way. And that together again, as we all know, the greater sum of the parts, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And it's the same for individuals coming to a workshop or just coaching, is there's another person there to listen, and I think we speak differently in front of someone than we do to ourselves.
That's
For
true.
sure.
So there's we're kind of taking in who this person is, and I
Right.
might say it differently to you than I would you if we were separated, right?
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all that is information, and a coach or a facilitator can help bring that out and it'll help you to continue thinking about it. I just did a visioning workshop on Sunday, and it was amazing the different people in the room offered new insights to each other, right? So
Yeah.
it's really cool. Yeah.
You have a
amazing.
couple of events coming up. Tell us
I
about
do.
them and how people can participate.
This one here is coming right up this weekend.
Okay.
Is Living Aligned, and it's a whole weekend to totally sink down in my beautiful Rendezvous Rupert barn that I renovated.
Very nice.
So it's time to be in nature. It's starting on Friday and ending on Sunday afternoon. Just gives us more time to settle in
Right.
and do the listening that's necessary. So getting in touch with all of our body, getting in touch with what's going around us, getting in touch with other people that are there. Some people make collages in the end, and that means something to them.
Right.
Something else that I wanted to mention is I studied anthropology, and I think the big thing about being humans is we make meaning out of everything.
That's right.
And that meaning can change depending on what's going on. And so part of it is slowing down to recognize that. The other workshop I have is here in Ottawa, and that's at the Spirit Art Studio. That's in Sandy Hill area, and that's Living Aligned with Change.
Okay.
So it's just everybody that's coming, it's just the focus is the change in their life, and we'll be exploring with color, with crayons, with movement, with lots of different
Awesome.
ways.
And people can get all the information on your webpage. You also have a Facebook page, or you can give her a call as well. We've got
Please
the
do.
number up on screen. Linda, thank you so much
You're
for
very
joining
welcome.
us. Really
It's great to
appreciate
meet
it.
you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you too. Don't
Thank
go
you.
away, anybody, because we're talking fashion. It's the runway for hope in support of CHEO. We'll be back with all the details right after this.